Today is July 5th. It's Sunday, right after the 4th of July. Hope everybody was safe. They had a good one. With that being said, I hope you were well fed. You got some food in you over this weekend, and that you wake up tomorrow ready to get it in. Oh, I got my watch list ready. I'm expecting a lot of movement tomorrow and the rest of this week. Right here, we have job reports, we have news around oil, we have the Fed having talks. We're expecting them to still be a little bit hawkish. We have Tesla with robotaxi news, deliveries, Nvidia with AI news, export rules. Apple has been talking about their new AI. That's cool. And then banks, we have SoFi is one of my tickets to watch. So with rates, consumer credit, and fintech sentiment, we could get some movement out of that. So with that being said, let's take a look at my projected levels for the week, mainly for tomorrow, but all of these levels are in play all week until invalidated, in my opinion. We're going to open up with our three favorites. That's going to be QQQ, the S&P 500, and the SPY. All right. And so right now the SPY is sitting at about 744. It's about 745 right now. I'm looking at, well, you can see my screen right here, SPY 745.71, right? So as long as we can hold that 745.70 level, we have room to 748, room to 749, room to 751. Before I assume that we're going to keep going up, I'm also going to look for confluence on QQQ and the S&P 500. And so like I said, as long as we hold that 74.70, I'm gonna look for 748. But if we drop from that 745.70 and move down to 744, I'm gonna look for more room to the downside. And if we break 741, we can go to 736, and we have room all the way to 733. And just remember that anything that our president says will be taken into consideration for at least 10 to 15 minutes. So it's possible to get volatile swings in either direction while watching this. And that's why watching your levels is so important, because if it invalidates one level, you can just flip to the other side, or you can ride it both directions and take profit on the upside and the downside if you know that during the middle of the day, any type of conversation can cause momentary chaos. And then let's go ahead and just look at the chart really quick. So as you can see, we had a little bit of a fake out on this last Thursday. We opened to the downside and then went back up towards the end of the day, but still had a lower high than where we opened up at. And then if you look at the minute chart, we're struggling to maintain VWAP and to maintain above the 250-day moving average. And if you look at the 10, we're below the 250-day. It broke VWAP to close the day, and in after hours, it kind of rose above, and it's teetering at that 250 mark. So if we open below this blue line, I'm just going to expect more downside. If we open below the 250-day, I'm just going to expect room to 740. This is the lowest level that it hit during last trading day. All right, and the next on the list we have QQQ. QQQ right now is currently trading at 712. Let me see where is that. QQQ was 714.22. So if it can maintain that 714, we have room to 718. If it breaks and holds at 718, we can see 724. And I got up to 731 on the day tomorrow. So we're going to be looking for Nvidia a little bit to see what Nvidia is doing, because Nvidia is a big mover inside of the QQQ ETF. And what we want is for Nvidia to at least hold VWAP, and we want QQQ to maintain VWAP as well. But if we can't maintain this 714 and we break this 712 level, we're going to see more downside to 710. and we have 707, and then we have 704. So let's take a quick little look at QQQ. So yeah, you can see this last trading day, it just continually broke down pretty much all day, and it fell below the 20-day, and it broke VWAP, and it's well below the 250-day moving average. So until it reclaims this blue line and this pink line, I do not trust QQQ. And so it's what, about $4 away from the 20-day moving average in after hours right now. Before I enter QQQ for a call, actually, I'd want it to reclaim the 716 level personally, just to feel confident in the continuation, because you could get a fake out very easily. And so I have the 714.20 level here. I would personally want to see it reclaim about here, 1715 or 715. I mean, 715.80. Once it can reclaim that 715.80, then I would feel confident in the fact that it would continue to 718. Let's see, what's this level? 711, 719, 717, 716. Well, actually, look at here. Yeah, about 716. Once it breaks about 716, then I would see room to 720. And I'm gonna delete this right here. And then next on the list is the S&P 500, Big Daddy. And so the S&P 500 actually had an interesting day the other day. It broke 7,500, went to 7,508, if not higher. Let me see. Yeah, 75.40. Dang, I missed it. I didn't really trade on Thursday. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I didn't really trade on Thursday, so I didn't see that happen. Last I had seen was when it broke 7,508. So, like right here. This is where I saw it at last. Let me just go ahead and draw some levels on this really quick. All right. So yeah, I like that. It was kind of clean. The breakout to 7,500 was pretty decent. Um, I don't really see anything that's jumping out to me right now, but it is above the 250-day moving average. It's fighting to stay above the 20-day, and it broke above VWAP just to end the day. This little formation right here is actually the same thing that's going on the SPY at the end of the day. A little W, you see that little W pattern for me? And the same thing happened with QQQ, a little W for it. And that's what I'm saying. They do the same things, but that's neither here nor there. Oh, we're going to look for a clean break back to 7,500 before we expect a continuation and breakout on S&P 500. Right now, sitting at about 74.83. Our next level is 7,500 personally, and then 7,508. From there, we have 7,520 and 7,550. If we can't hold the 7,583, we can very easily take a 60-point fall just about to 74.27 and then 7,400. If we break 7,400, we're going to 7,300. If we break 73, we're going back to the 72 area. I'm not gonna lie, I would love to have this breakdown happen just because I have yet to take a like $200 ride on the S&P 500 and stay in the move. And I could use that right now. But whoop, we're not going to do anything that's not confirmed by the chart. So we're going to see if we can maintain VWAP, maintain the moving averages, and see if SPY confirms the direction we think it's going in. Outside of the SPY, S&P 500, and QQQ, the only other things I'm going to be looking at is Nvidia, Tesla, Appl, and SoFi. And so these are my levels for those. Right now, Nvidia is sitting at 194. I'd like to see it hold and break above that 194 and continue to 196. If we could break above 196, we have room to 200. If at open we can't hold that 194, we're going back to 192. If we break 192, we're going back to that 189, 180 range. And then anything after that, let's just look at it really quick. Yeah, so 192 is my low level right now, and then my next level down is 189. And it's been playing within that range for about a week, if not more. So we need a big break for it to break this 189 level. And I don't think it's going to happen, honestly. Anything's possible, but it's been holding that pretty steadily. And then next, I'm looking at Tesla. Right now, Tesla's at 394. Last week, it had a nice little pop, almost back to 440. We hit 438.40, and then broke all the way back down, which is really funny. I think part of it is just because it was a holiday and a long weekend. People don't really trust their money in the markets, you feel me, overnight like that right now. It's volatile time in the market. With that being said, we were above the 20-day and the 250-day EMA, but it has since then broke that. It broke both of them pretty hardly, but it's already hit that 394 level. So in the morning, I'm going to be looking for either a bounce off that 394 level or a break below it. If we break 394 and go to 392 again, we have room to 380. But I really see it bouncing and trying to reclaim 400. If it reclaims 400, we have room to 404, then to 412, then 425. Personally, I like Tesla to about 420 right now. I think that's a good price for it, but we have to be prepared for anything. So, like I said, if it breaks this 393 level right now, 394 level is going to go to 392, 389, and then we have room to 380, possibly 368 if we have a really weak day or if we get some really bad news. And then I already gave you my expectation for Apple. Uh, so right now, Apple's at 308, 450. If it can hold that, we have room to 309.50. If it can hold that 309, we could easily see 312 again. It has room to 317, but it already has a 14-point day right underneath it. I wouldn't be expecting it to do anything too crazy unless it was to break back down for a retest. And if we do break below the 308, 40, 50 level is at right now, the first level I'm looking for is 305. And then from there, we have 303, then to 300. And then SoFi. SoFi is a tricky one because it moves slow, but when it moves, it moves. And so right now, SoFi is trading for 18.20. The next level up is going to be 18.80 and then $19. And then usually it will break a little above 19 and then start to break back down. So I'm going to watch for the continuation from 18.20 to 19.80. And then I'd get a little risky, or not risky, I'd get a little hesitant because $20 is my price projection for it. It's just been struggling to get there, and every time it gets close, it breaks right back down. So I'd watch it for a $20 call. I'd really take any call from $18 to $20 and just wait for even an 80 cent, 80 to a dollar move, and then I would just sell out and watch it break back down. But if we do break this $18, $20 level at open, the next level down is 1760, which is still good to know for a put. Is with SoFi, it takes its time moving enough that like a 2 week to a 4 week out call gives you enough time for it to mature into whichever direction you're looking for. If we do break down quickly, we have room to 1680, realistically, in my opinion, but my levels say 1680 to 1640. But I don't see it losing 1820 all the way to 1640 in one day. So, but yeah, that's pretty much my watch list for this week, especially going in tomorrow, which will be Monday, July 6th. Today is Sunday, July 5th. And these are the stocks that I'm going to be paying attention to. SPY, QQQ, S&P 500, Nvidia, Tesla, Apple, and SoFi. Anything outside of that, I'll just be watching for confirmation for the direction that the market does want to go in. And I might keep my eye open for any unexpected intraday movers that have some nice momentum. But I'm trying not to do too much when it comes to overloading myself with tickers to watch and different possibilities. Because one of the biggest dangers, especially with smaller accounts, is taking too many trades and blowing your trading account up because you're watching too many things and getting into too many different plays in different directions. So rule number one, no clean level, no clean trade. And that's why I do danger zones. And then why I also have 4 different levels up and 4 different levels down. So yeah, man, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. If you want to learn any specific, like the fact that that pause is happening is crazy. If you want to learn any specific indicator or any specific method about anything like RSI, what the EMAs are, what VWAP is, feel free to ask. I'll do an explainer video. If you want to know what stocks I like to watch and why, feel free to ask. But for the most part, these are going to be the 6 tickers, 7 tickers you can see me watching for the rest of the year on a regular basis. And then, like I said, with Tesla, we have delivery news, robotaxi headlines, which can cause violent motion. And if it opens up past 389, we have easy room to 404, and then a lot of chop could possibly ensue. So we're going to watch for the 15-minute candles and see if we can test above that 404 in the first 15. That would be beautiful, because then it'll give me confidence to that 415, 420 level. With that being said, Diesel out. Have a good trading day. Hope everybody has a good weekend. Get you your sleep in.